Friends, if you're looking for real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember MEAD magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today. Everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. We have a great panel with us tonight. We have some good shit to talk about, and I want to thank y'all for joining us. It's Thursday. That's right. It is officially 10 days from Christmas Eve, so you better get your Christmas shopping done if you're avoiding it. That's right. Get in the Christmas spirit there, you Scottish bastard.
I've been blackballed.
Of course it's plaid.
Of course it's plaid, Canadian and Scottish.
Jesus Christ.
The tartan combination.
So you're a Scottish lumberjack? How would that equate?
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
He sleeps all night.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm real gay. Oops, did I say that? Shit.
Same thing.
I wear high heels, suspenders, and a bra. I wish I'd been a girl.
Wear a bra?
Papa.
I love it. Classic stuff.
Don't start on the Python. I'll be here all night.
That, of course, is Brian, a.k.a. That 70s Rock Fan. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, mate. How are you?
Doing okay. And we also have a sloth with us singing.
Yeah, it's I'm the other Canadian in the house. Well, we're half Canadian tonight, aren't we?
Shit. Yeah.
Half of us.
Canadian in this side.
Fight!
I've been messing around with image generators all day.
And I'm Irish and he's Scottish, so that's really going to fuck up everything.
Diddly, diddly, diddly.
Hey, what about generators? You were having a bad day with generators?
They're fun. Image generators. They're fun, but they're also completely inept.
Oh, image generators. I thought you meant for like your camper.
No. I have one, and I have a generator in here too. But it's working okay. Yeah.
Difference. But glad to see you, and that's an interesting image. And speaking of Canadians, we have Script Doctor with us. How you doing?
I'm staying warm in this -2 weather I've got where I am.
Don't even start with that. It's been we've had a very decent winter so far, but that means we're probably going to get a late spring because it's been just hovering above freezing most days and nights here in Wisconsin thus far. We've gotten a few dustings, but nothing has stuck. And by this late, if we haven't, that means shit.
I
believe we're going to be getting snow until like May.
I've heard you're going to get 10 inches by Christmas, Tom.
Well, that was because you think you're that big. I hate to break your heart, but the missus has told me otherwise.
Snow. I'm talking about snow.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's very plausible.
Evil people.
We also have with us Price of Reason. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Best I can. It's a good day. We had an Axel Foley trailer and some good news from Peltz, so we're going to talk about that. Yeah, we also have with us Clobbering Times, and I think the audience is right. They said it looks like Christmas threw up all over you.
Okay, I'll take it.
It looks better like that. Yeah,
I mean, is that supposed to be a wreath?
Is this a party or a mosaic?
Okay, yeah, because the way it is now, it just looks like it's just something was like
a bunch of superheroes in it.
Flattered, yeah.
Or Marvel 2DC that I can pick up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we got
So-
Superman, we got Spider-Man, Batman, Cap, Iron Man.
and the thing.
I can see the head of Red Skull.
Spider-Man's feet for some reason
Red
again.
Skull popped in there somewhere. Yeah.
I think he was in the middle originally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There you go. Awesome sauce. Well, glad to have you here, Clobby. How you
Thank
doing?
you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you all, man. I'm all right.
Glad
I'm
to have
here
you
to
here.
clobber, and I'm all out of. Never mind.
Oh, Ohio weather is boring. Well, I heard that there's lines for their, what was it? I don't know, some new
In-N-Out
burger
burger.
joint.
That's in
In-N-Out
Idaho,
burger, yeah.
actually.
Was that Idaho?
Idaho.
Ohio, Idaho, same fucking difference.
No, one likes potatoes, the other doesn't.
I know, I'm just kidding. Yeah. That's about as exciting as that's gotten when you got an 8-hour line for an In-N-Out burger. It's like that's when you've reached the Midwest, kids.
Wow.
That's the
when
height
it's
of
no longer
excitement.
In-N-Out, it's sit and wait burger.
Sit and wait, yeah. But no, I mean that's just the height of it. It's like, oh my God, there's a new restaurant in town. Everybody's got to come out. That's just new entertainment for us. It's like I understand Ohio, Idaho, they're all probably the same as Iowa and Wisconsin and Minnesota and all that. It's
Well, to be
boring.
fair, In-N-Out is kind of an institution. So if they open something like that, I think people would stand online.
Yeah.
Even no matter where you opened it. Like in New York City for a long time, there wasn't Chick-fil-A and it was opened. And there was a really long line of people wanting to eat Chick-fil-A.
We had that in Toronto last summer, I think it was. When I was down in the city, there was lines and protests outside of Chick-fil-A.
More lines than protests usually. Somehow it doesn't affect the bottom line. Whatever.
Never does.
Down here, you could never get into a Chick-fil-A. It's so crowded. I mean, you can, and they move fast. They're very efficient, but there's always, no matter what time of day, tons of cars out there. It's crazy.
We've got a Tim Hortons
We do.
in our town, small town.
No, wait, only one?
Actually, there's 3, which is weird, given it's
Yeah.
a very small, very, very small town.
I've got 5 in walking distance, like within 5
Yeah.
city blocks from me. One's in a gas station too.
There's a plethora, yes.
Yeah,
But no In-N-Out, no Whataburger. I miss Whataburger.
What about Out and In?
I miss Whataburger. With a
No.
lot of Out and In, but Whataburger was my favorite.
Whataburger, yeah.
Miss it.
Five Guys burgers, none of those.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any of
Thing.
those cool places where I'm at. We got McDonald's.
What's this
and
Buc-ee's?
Culver's.
Everyone likes Buc-ee's.
It's like
these days.
it's a
Bucky, I just got to go to one for the first time in a couple
Go ahead,
weeks
Clive.
ago. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Clubby, go ahead.
no. I don't know anything about it. Go ahead. I've never been to one.
Well,
I just
they're-
know what they are. But yeah,
They're large down in the south of there. Basically, it's a truck stop / gas station that's almost the size of a Walmart.
Yeah. I must have
It's
passed a few.
gigantic, zillions of stations, and then of course tons of charging stations for those people. And there's a lot of food inside, a lot of different places they make different types of food, groceries in there, very clean. And then there's a gigantic souvenir section. There's like a big store. Like I say, some are bigger than others. The one I got to go to in Alabama was one of the regular size ones, but
Yeah.
they're giganticus, and they sometimes they take up the whole. There's no other gas stations, any of the ones around you go. They're the only thing at that stop that I've heard. And the other
Like the
places as
black
well.
hole for gas stations. You suck them all in.
Buc-ee's. It's pretty nice though. It's an experience. You go there,
That's why you
Lot
have
of-
souvenirs.
a
You
lot
buy
of good
souvenirs.
stuff. Yeah,
I'll have to visit one next time I'm driving down there.
Texas has got a bunch of them. Florida. We're about to get one. I'm about to get one in Mississippi. We almost had one here, but then a flood happened. So I don't know. They're all over the place though down here. I'm not sure
Right.
how far they go up.
I see. Sounds like fun.
Yes, you wouldn't pass one and not stop there.
Could be a destination in its own right.
True.
they kind of are, from what it sounds like. Like they're kind of a big deal. Yeah.
They are.
All right. So, Tom.
All right. With that, let's. Well, we don't have any super chats or member chats, so we're not gonna have any of those to get into, and we don't have any of our money or Disney people yet. So I guess we're gonna start with the Beverly Hills Cop stuff. For those who aren't aware of it, there was a Beverly Hills Cop 4 trailer that dropped today. Did you guys get a chance to watch it?
Yep.
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 Yes.
All right.
But only on a tiny phone screen. I didn't get a chance to watch none of this.
It,
Now, I don't
it
remember
looked
who
better
all-
than you described earlier.
I was gonna say I don't remember who all was here with me when I originally described the movie. because we did get a leak. In fact, I think I can safely say his name now. Thank you to Lance Corporal Waffles, who got a chance to see a test screening of this back in May. And back around that time, I think I waited a little bit just to kind of distance myself from that so that nobody could, whatever with him, but not that it's a big deal. But yeah, so I think we talked about it last May. If not, it was the beginning of June, one of the two, but I'm pretty sure it was May. And for those who may remember, we broke down the story a little bit, and I'm going to do that a little bit more again. But first, I want to get everybody's reactions to the trailer. And of course, I'll do a little spoiler warning just in case. But I'll be honest with you, from what I was told and what's in the trailer, there's not much to spoil. But all right, let's start with Klobby, since you got to watch it on a little phone. What did you think, Klobby?
I didn't think this would be possible for me to actually forget the word excited, even interested in seeing anything done after. And I did not see Coming to America 2, but I heard how horrible it was. I'm just thinking I expected the worst. I got to admit it because of where we are. As much as I love Eddie Murphy and I love the original, Beverly Hills Cop, I was expecting, this is going to make me it's going to piss me off. And the trailer didn't. It looked like it has me at least wanting to see it. It looked kind of fun. That doesn't mean it's going to be any good or not, I know, but it looks like he's just the same old fun-loving guy who's been a cop for all this time, which would be cool. It doesn't look like they introduced, at least in the trailer, a bunch of other characters that are going to take over the movie from him and make him look terrible or make him look awful. I hope that doesn't happen. And we get this little glimpse at the end here that made me smile. I'm like, whoa, Taggart. Because I didn't even see. Now I need to see the trailer again, I guess. I don't know how much Billy was even in the rest of the trailer. I'd have to ask you that because I don't remember seeing him in much of it, but we knew Billy was going to be in it. But Taggart, I'm surprised right there. I got to be honest. So overall, I'll be cautiously optimistic.
Well, I'll save the spoiler part for later. In case anybody wants to check out ahead of time on how much anybody's in or not in the movie.
Okay.
So yeah, Price, what did you think?
I'm already immune at this point. I can't get excited. I saw it on the surface. Does it look like an okay trailer? Sure, it looks all right, I guess. But I have a feeling that I'm going to be disappointed by the movie. And I don't have anything really to back it up aside from the fact that almost every single sequel that I've seen in I don't know how many years, with the exception of maybe Cobra Kai, there's so few that they've had some kind of sequel. And I thought that they really managed to bring back the heart of the original. Here, even the third one in the original series wasn't very good. I don't know that they can recreate even what happened in the first or second movie in this movie. And I feel like the trailer is probably well put together. But once I see the movie, I have a feeling I'll be disappointed. That's just my instinct. I don't have any real evidence for it. Just my instinct.
I totally understand that.
All right, Script Doctor. I'm really interested in hearing your take on it because I know you're a huge fan of the franchise like I am. So what did you think?
It looked like it was shot for TV, which didn't help. But it was fair enough trailer. The way that they paced out all the friendly faces was nice. Dennis Leary, I forgot he was in this, so that was kind of a surprise. Sorry, not Dennis Leary. Kevin Bacon. What the hell am I thinking?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon has gotten so old, he's starting to look like Dennis Leary.
Yeah, I did mention him in the original story beat, but again, that was back in May.
I wasn't sure what the conflict was. That's the thing that I missed with the trailers. Just give me something of what the conflict is. Why is he out in Beverly Hills again? I remember the first trailer for Cop 2 where Bogomil gets shot. And you're like, oh my God, Bogomil got shot. I got to go see this movie. What happens? Does he die? Does he get revenge? Like, where is... I was waiting for something like that in this trailer here. The only thing that kind of really made me laugh was this clip here at the end. And I'm like, that's just kind of like the three dynamic chemistry that was going on there. And nothing really kind of stuck out for me, unfortunately. I will say the trailer did look better than the 2009 script I read and reviewed on my Patreon this morning. So it's got that going for it, I guess.
Indeed. CC.
Oh, this trailer's pitching the movie as an Eddie Murphy centric film where he's having fun and he's being, the character, and it's just be a good fun time. And I like that. But kind of just going off what script said, because you're right, the trailer doesn't really tell much about the plot. It doesn't tell me what the actual incident is, what the goal is. Now, I hate trailers that give away the whole plot. It's trailers that just say, hey, these are the actual cliff notes of the movie. Now you've seen it. You know what happens from beginning to end. But there's also something to be said about actually hooking the audience with the trailer by telling them why they want to go see it. This trailer is telling me I want to go see it because it's an Eddie Murphy movie and he's having a good time with it. Looks like he's having fun, whatever. Let's get back together, get the gang back together. So there's definitely something a little bit off there. And I'm biased now because I heard what you said earlier, Tom, on another channel. More describing what
we're
you're
gonna get more
mention.
into that. Yeah.
But I mean, the trailer itself, okay, it's fine. It's I would like to see Eddie Murphy doing comedy, and that this trailer seems to suggest that will be the case.
All right. Well, we also have, speaking of fun, Nick joining us. How you doing, Nick?
Hey, what's up, Tom? Good to see you guys. Price, Clobby, Script, CC and 70s. Hello, Chad, and hello, Wrenches.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I did see this trailer, but I'll let everyone else go, and then I'll share my thoughts.
Actually, why don't you just pop in here, and then we'll jump to Brian and then myself.
Okay, that sounds good. So on its own merits, I had to be really emphasizing of those words. It's not a bad trailer. I'd actually say it looks like it could turn out fine. But I think I made a quote post earlier that based off what you had said about the trailer, I read, if there's a trailer 2, there will be a caption that says, trailer 2, trailer 1, high bait, meet switch. And that's what trailer 2 might be, if that's the case. That's what I'm worried about, because this reminds me of, what was it? When Moon Knight was coming out, and the trailers for it looked pretty good. And then all of a sudden there was the second trailer like the week before the show. And it was like a completely different trailer. And it was, well, you could say the writing was on the wall of it. Now, would I like to be wrong and hope that this is not a bait and switch? Of course. I think Eddie Murphy still has potential to still have it. And judging by what he does in his trailer, it looks like he still hasn't missed a beat as Axel Foley. So I want this to be good. I want this to be amazing. So on its own merits, it's a fairly good trailer. I just hope that it doesn't end up subverting our expectations per se. That's all I got.
Brian, my canon brother.
Yeah. First of all, I didn't realize it was a Netflix. I thought it was going to be a theatrical release. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that.
I don't even know why it's taking them till next summer to bring it out. The fucker is done.
Which is a bit weird. I didn't
Unless they're going to do some reshoots. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it looked pretty good, and I'm still positively looking forward to it. I hear what Nick's saying about the bait and switch. So we didn't see anything of the daughter plot line, and so is she really going to be doing the bulk of the stuff and not Eddie Murphy, not Axel? We don't know, but it looked okay. I thought it leaned a little heavily on the action as opposed to the comedy in this teaser, and it's just a teaser, really, a very short trailer. So is it going to allow him to stretch his comedic side in the way that we would hope? The music, actually, I'm wondering if that interpretation...
Harold Faltermeyer's not listed.
No, Axel F., that interpretation, which sounds a bit more like guitar.
Modern.
Now, there's still enough time. Let's be fair. He could still do the music. I have not heard one thing or another. All I know is this much. I can tell you guys this. When we were gonna have an interview with Harold Faltermeyer, it didn't happen because of technical difficulties. We had one rule. We were not allowed to ask about Axel F. or Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, right.
So I think it's a sore spot for him. He did not return to part 3. I don't know if that's why there's a sore spot, because they didn't ask him back for part 3. Because they got Nile Rodgers doing the music instead, but yeah.
Well, the guy that's listed online as being the music guy is a guy called Lorne Balfe, who's a Scotsman.
I don't think he's coming back.
So I don't think he's coming back. I just wonder if this Lauren Balfe guy was responsible for that adaptation, or whether it's
Isn't Lauren Balfe a woman?
no. Lauren Balfe is a man. It's
That
very much
interpretation in the
so.
trailer actually sounds
Well,
like it's part of the
how
rap
do we know?
song. To be honest
may-
with you,
He may
unless somebody else
identify.
knows that song already, it sounded like the beginning of the rap song. Unless they just mixed it in with
Yeah,
it.
I'm just wondering if there was a band or a group on board, as opposed to just the guy that's doing the overall score. But
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounded like Axel Foley music for a modern audience.
yes, so I was
Mhm.
wondering about that. But yeah, on the whole, I thought it was pretty good, and I'm keen to see more. And there will be more trailers, I'm assuming. Seems to be an awful long wait, as you say, Tom, for it to come out, though. And if it's
Yeah.
not theatrical, what does it matter?
Yeah, I look. Just aside from what I already know about the movie from a few months ago, actually, you can't really say that because a big part of that is my problem with this trailer. And my brother from another mother, who's also my papa friend. How you doing, Mikey?
Mikey
The world's
F.
greatest YouTuber.
Mikey F. There's only
Well,
there's one
Mikey
more
sent me
thing.
this.
Just before I wrap up, though, Tom, there's one more thing I wanted to say is that I'm wondering if the plot of this, because its plot details are relatively sparse, if it mirrors the first movie in a lot of ways, which would be the
I'm gonna say no.
no. Okay, I just wondered that because he's looking for a someone who's murdered that he's close to, or looking
Yeah.
for the killers. So
Yeah, this has more to do with the kidnapping from the
okay,
plot I have here.
fair enough. Yeah.
Which is better than trying to reiterate the first movie, because that's what the 2009 script I read was essentially doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
That's
they've
pretty much
moved
what
on from that.
all of the movies have done. Like, let's be real. Even though,
'Cause that would be a mistake, even though it might hit some member berries. I think
I was just gonna
trying
say,
to-
even though the second film, what's his face, Ronnie Cox, he survived, but that still was like every one of them has been a killing or a shooting of one of his friends. So yeah.
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 So don't do that again. Yeah, good.
Is Eddie Murphy a big part of this movie?
It sounds like it, yes, but like hold that thought because I want to get Mikey's reaction to this trailer because, as I said, he's the man who helped got me that.
I saw
figure.
it. I saw the trailer.
And
Dude, I ain't sold on shit until I see the shit because as far as I'm concerned, Hollywood's just gonna bait and switch my ass.
Yeah.
Netflix especially.
Look, I was the one who, like, when I heard that they were bringing back Russell T Davies and I was getting one of my favorite doctors back, that I was on Doomcock's show a year and a half, I don't know, 2 years ago, I don't know when it was, and I was like, ooh, it's gonna be good. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep. Gotta
Hashtag
be careful.
dumbass Mexican, hashtag dumbass. I don't know. Lots of member berries. I got to see it. The proof will be in the pudding. But I have seen all three of these other movies. I don't even know how many times. Look, I don't buy that many action figures, and I got me and Tom matching Axel Foley's. Okay. I mean, like, I don't buy action figures at all, but me and Tom have matching Axel Foley's.
No,
That's
wow.
a good toy to have, to be
There's an
fair. I've
Axel
got the
Foley?
vinyl. I've got
We
the
have
vinyl
matching
of the first
Axel
movie.
Foley that
I
Tom
love
just
it.
showed. The one that Tom just showed, I bought that. When did Tom?
Oh
we ordered it?
man.
It took us like
You
a
bought
year
that
and a
for me
half
for
to get them.
Well, you got it for me for Christmas.
What,
I think
15 years ago?
Like 2 years ago, and it finally showed up. What was it, March, April, something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Two of them did. We
Cool.
got matching Axel Foley. I got one for him.
Oh, there you go. Is that it right there?
One right here, but yeah, okay. So, what did I think of the trailer?
Yes. What?
I think Eddie Murphy is coming off very, very,
Low energy.
very slow, low energy. It's not Axel Foley. Axel Foley talks a mile a minute. He's a con man who is pretending to be a cop, basically. It's not the other way around. I mean, you got to keep that in mind every time. Cop is usually the secondary part of his job. The other part is he's trying to figure out, it's always what he's into. Like, it's always about his friends. He puts that shit first. Like, I like the little bit they have in the trailer where, you know, he has the face off with Kevin Bacon about the whole thing, what it's about to be a cop. It's like, yeah, that's cool. And Eddie would say something like that. But it's more about your friends and family to Axel than it is the cop part comes third to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't do all the shit he does because he's constantly getting in trouble and having to have people lie for him.
He is 30 years older. I mean, he was kind of a young maverick at that time.
Yeah, but I mean, if the script calls for him to speak, I should say in the way that he would have in the previous movies, he should still be able to do it.
Part of
I'm
it,
Axel Foley. I'm going to find out the criminal behavior at the bingo game.
part of it isn't Eddie Murphy's fault. I mean, he looks very young for his age, but at the same time, he's not 20 years old. Back in those days, the way Eddie Murphy lived, he was hanging out with Rick James, doing a lot of things, and once you put a camera on him, he was full of energy, full of improv. He had his stamina and energy level was like 20 out of 10. And I really don't expect at this point when he has 20 kids.
No, but I expect 11 out of 10 out of Eddie Murphy when it comes to Axel Foley. That's my problem.
I don't know, man. I saw Coming to America too, and he wasn't really that much Hakeem either.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's not his bread and butter. That's not his signature role. He didn't make two or three other Coming to Americas in between there. I've seen Axel Foley go through 2 other adventures, and I've stuck up for Beverly Hills Cop 3 many a time. And it's his fault the movie sucked. Because I told this many a times, because after they worked their shit out, John Landis was the only director who would finally take on Beverly Hills Cop 3 after I don't know how many years of it sitting in development hell. And he got set aside by the studio, and they're like, here's the problem. Eddie doesn't want to be funny anymore. So try and find a way to make Eddie funny without him knowing it. So that's why that movie is the way it is.
And that was the idea for Bowfinger.
Exactly.
Try to make a movie with Eddie Murphy in it when he doesn't realize he's in it.
I have that too, Nick. That's awesome. I even have the
dude. Is
that the one that has? That's not the one that has. No, I don't think it has Rick James on it.
It does not have Rick James on here.
Yeah, the Rick James one is the one that was pulled early. Yeah.
Nice. Nah, I got this one. Half a decade ago, when I really like the soundtrack, I get the vinyl for it because I've obviously been a CD guy, but I can't pass this on vinyl.
One of the best pop soundtracks of all time.
Oh, dude, this soundtrack.
Second one just as much too. Third one, not so much.
Nah, it's all about that first movie soundtrack. That soundtrack is
well. The second movie had Shakedown and I Want Your Sex, and it had a couple other tunes just like the first one's. Like that's the thing most people don't realize. Yeah, Top Gun had like 2 big hits off it. Footloose had quite a few. Beverly Hills Cop, I think, had, let's see, you had the Pointer Sisters song, the Neutron Dance, you had the 2 Patti LaBelle songs, and you had Axel F plus The Heat Is On.
Yeah, that's true.
That's 5. It's amazing. I don't know if they all hit number 1, but that's 5 singles off of one album right there. You know, and the sequel was almost the same because you, like I just said, you had Shakedown, which was originally written for Glenn Frey, but he got sick and couldn't do it, so they gave it to Bob Seger, who ended up being his first number 1 hit. Believe it or not, that many years in the business already, never had a number 1 hit until he did that song. And then you had the Jets song on there that went into the charts. You had the Corey what's his face Hart song that went into the charts. You had there's a bunch of them on the second one. Actually, I think there was more on the second one. Because I didn't even got to George Michael yet, did I?
Nope.
Yeah, so there's that one. Plus, there's the other one I'm trying to remember.
Wait, George Michael had a song on the Beverly Hills soundtrack?
On the second one, I Want Your Sex, when they're in the strip club.
Oh, you're
and it's on the soundtrack, right. Yeah.
Harold Ford.
That was a big hit. Now, that one I'm pretty sure was a number 1 hit besides Shakedown. But they also had, like I said, the Jets song, and then I'm trying to think of his name. Is it Steve Winwood, I think, also had a song on there, Better Way? Or was it the other guy I'm trying to think of? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, there was a bunch of them on there. Anyway, third film didn't have any hits on it at all. It had 1 single and it didn't go nowhere. Yeah. So this one, I don't know.
I remember when I told my mom to listen to that song, she said that was Satan's work.
Which one? Which
George
one?
Michael, I Want Your Sex. She says, she says,
demons
are alive in that guy. I'm like,
you know, I don't know about that because he's still singing about fucking a woman there, at least.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Dang.
Well, I'm just
There's
saying.
things that you get and things you don't want, and I am Mexican.
There's boys you can trust and
Not
girls
that-
that you don't.
Not that I want to even get into this conversation, but I have to say that back in the day, George Michael actually was with women early on.
Quite often, yes.
Yes, I mean, at the time he was George Michael, and all the women liked him, and he thought that was cool initially. Just throwing that-
Come on.
Just saying that did start out that way from what I remember.
No,
Oh, he had the ass. Remember, he always showed his ass off in the videos.
I
yeah.
am the biggest George Michael
Tight
fan
jeans.
on planet Earth. I like George Michael as much as Tom Connors hates Zack Snyder.
Oh, I like George Michael. He's awesome. Or was awesome, sadly. But yeah, no, I'm not really convinced on this trailer yet. The only time I laughed was this scene here. And okay, so now I'm gonna warn everybody real quick. I'm gonna get into some minor spoilers for the movie because we do have somebody in the chat right
this
now.
fourth movie.
Yes, who has seen it. And
Okay.
I went over these subtly before, but now I'm gonna break them down a little bit more. Because there's
Uh-oh.
something that this trailer is not showing us. And this is what has me concerned.
Only one thing.
Well,
know
one
someone
main
who-
big thing.
You know someone who's seen it? You said.
Yes.
Oh.
Seen the movie.
Oh boy.
They got to see a test screening back in May.
Oh my.
They're in the chat right now. Lance Corporal
Well, I
Wallace.
didn't see any bananas in it, so that's a problem.
Well, there's that. But there's a character in here they don't really show in the trailer who's a big part of the movie.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Ms. Foley.
Miss Little Axel Foley. Yes. That chick that's in the BMW that gets knocked off in like a real quick flash scene that you barely even get 2 seconds to see.
I don't even remember. Yeah.
That's Axel's daughter. She is a big part of the movie. Why are they hiding her? That has me concerned.
And why don't we know her pronouns?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, she's married. She's married to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's got like two scenes in the trailer.
Well, let's not assume he's a he, please. Thank you.
Good point. Good point.
I'm guessing it's why the
Um,
trailer doesn't have a whole lot of plot because maybe they don't want to show us what the plot is.
I don't know. I'm worried because now Lance said he enjoyed the film for the most part, but now keep in mind he said he hadn't seen the first 3 movies in a long time.
Yeah, I've watched them so many times now.
Yeah. So
They're-
like to
they're
me,
fresh
like
and-
the original,
Yeah.
I can basically recite the first 2.
Me too, especially I can do it with the first one mostly, but yeah, they're still fresh in your mind. You've seen them so many times.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of read you what he wrote me back in May. He says, apparently we were the first audience to see the movie. I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen the originals in a long time. So in any way, I kind of went in with a very little knowledge of the franchise. So he is estranged from his daughter, but isn't really that bad dad trope that's been so prevalent. I have a hard time reconciling that, but I'm going to go with Lance's description here, I guess. Because that's, as we know, a constant trope in these movies to have a absentee or bad father.
Yeah.
They explain that he sent his wife and daughter to California to keep them safe, but he also too focused on work, which led him to get divorced. So that, and he doesn't, and Lance doesn't remember if it's supposed to be the woman he met at the end of part 3, which was Teresa Randall's character, or if it's somebody completely new. He didn't know. They didn't really specify. He said he didn't notice anything woke about it. The daughter wasn't really girl boss, and she wasn't a badass that upstaged the men. She was understandably mad at him, but not to the point of being a mega bitch to him. She was a public defender that got caught up in a cartel corrupt cop stuff. She played off Eddie Murphy quite well when he did his thing where he pretends he's someone important to get into a restricted area. Oh, wow. We have a special guest with us.
Hey.
Hey, greetings.
Greetings, Andre.
Oh, hello.
Hello there.
Hey.
Hello, sir.
Unexpected,
greetings,
but
everyone.
what did I do?
Yeah, well, it's
Or I'm
rather
sorry,
what
the
you
accurate
did
question
not
is more
do.
what I didn't do. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway,
Now what
so
didn't I
yeah,
do?
Here's Andre. Tom, why are you live and my video has not been completed?
that is entirely accurate.
Because I sent him all the stuff he needs to do it himself. But in fact, I'm going to make him stay here because once we're done with Beverly Hills Cop, you and Mike are going to talk about Peltz.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
specifically.
thinking. Yeah, I see.
That's what I was thinking
Peltze,
too.
as in Schweinepelze.
I know it must be important because
background there, but
Tom,
yeah.
Tom actually sent me a text. He's like, "You are coming to the show." I'm like, "Oh, I was taking a nap, but I'm coming." Here.
Yeah, I need you for Peltz. But I'm actually reiterating my spoilers from the test screening for Beverly Hills Cop 4. So not only were we talking about our trailer today, we were actually going through the actual story of the movie. So here we go. Back to where I was here. He said Eddie was great. Judge was great in the small role he had. John Ashton is funny as the salty chief. The girl that played Axel's daughter did a decent job. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was okay as the younger, unwitting partner. Kevin Bacon was a charismatic, as I find him to be normally. Luis Guzman is in it. He's not in the trailer, mind you. Had a small cameo. Sad that they resorted to CG gunfire and blood spatter. I think the movie was just under 2 hours, so it felt like just the right length. Now here's where he gets into the parts where it fell flat for Lance. He said there was once where he was running from someone henchman, and he comes back to his Ford Bronco, and he's being ticketed by a meter maid, and she said that you didn't type attitude with Eddie, but that didn't last very long. And there was a scene where he was being shown a mansion by a realtor that came off like he was doing improv with his daughter. So, but she felt like Kristen Wiig, he says here. And you can tell she's trying to pull something funny out of her ass, and that's what has me worried. And there was a couple of extras in there that felt like they were cast because they checked off the LGB box. Cool. But it could also be because the movies take place in Beverly Hills. Those two extras were very minor and had no impact on the story. So yeah, but other than that, I know he told me some more here. I can't remember. I can't find it all here, but the bottom line is that, yeah, the story is revolved around a kidnapping of Judge Reinhold's character as well. So he's barely in the movie. We've seen most of the cameos in the movie, it sounds like, too, from what I've been told. So I'm kind of concerned with that. But yeah, other than that, though, it sounded like Lance liked it quite a bit. Hopefully, they don't muck with it too much, and it comes out pretty good. I have high hopes for it, but I'm going in with low expectations at the same time.
Yeah. Well, Bronson Pinochet is looks like he's having fun in that.
Yeah,
out of the trailer.
I kind of wish they wouldn't have put him in the trailer, because that would have been a nice surprise for the audience, because I knew he was in there, and that's something I don't think I talked about last time. I wanted to leave that as a surprise.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was just told was this shot here. This is the last scene in the movie. This is the only time we get to see John Aston too, I think.
No, it's a shame. It's a great shame.
Wow, wow, wow.
Because let's be real, what made the first few films work was getting the group back together. And even though you didn't have John Aston in the second one, or Ronnie Cox, or third one, I mean, and Ronnie Cox as well,
right?
You still at least had Judge Reinhold. You had the extended cameo with Bronson. So I mean, at least you had that.
Hector Elizondo was pretty good.
Hector Elizondo was an all right replacement. And then you had all the cameos of the directors that John Landis always puts in there. So you got George Lucas going, hey. So yeah, Andre, did you watch the trailer at all? I don't even know if you're a Beverly Hills Cop fan to begin with.
Not as such, no. If I'm completely honest, I saw one of them when I was a kid. I only remember bits and pieces. So for all intents and purposes, I actually haven't seen them. I have to rewatch all of them. I haven't even seen the trailer because, I have to see the first three. There's three of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to see the first three ones first.
All right. Well, let's go to our super chats, and then we'll get into the Peltz stuff here. We've got CC Karaoke. He's been a member for 15 months, and he's also on the panel. Good day, sir. Jay is here, and he sends in $5 and says, I'm a CA native, and I find in and out to be barely edible. You have to love their sauce, otherwise their burgers are bland. That's just me, though. Oh, there you go. That's one man's opinion. Grand Admiral Adam has been here for 10 months and says, what do you think is the best superhero TV show Christmas episode? My vote is on either Angel Wings from X-Men Evolution or Comfort and Joy from Justice League.
I'm with that. Comfort and Joy is probably the best.
There was a one script can help me out here. There's a Lois and Clark episode where
Season's Greetings.
Season's Greetings, where he keeps reliving Christmas all over again or whatever.
Nope, that's the second one. That's the one with Howie Mandel. That one was also written, I think, by Dean Cain.
Yeah, it's a bit like yeah. That's what I was
season
thinking of,
3 is
yeah.
the one that has the Jeffersons in it, but that's also a really good one.
That's not the one I was thinking. I was thinking of the one with Howie. Yeah.
Comfort and
Big one with
Joy
Howie,
is,
yep.
is probably the best. It's so
That's
great.
a season 4 episode.
My
that was just me.
2 would be Batman the Brave and the Bold episode with Red Tornado.
Invasion of the Christmas Santa,
yeah,
of the Secret Santas.
Invasion, of the Secret
And the
Santas
first-
and Justice League Comfort and Joy. It has such a great subplot with Superman and Martian Manhunter, which alone is worth the price of admission.
It's unbelievable. I watch it every year. It's a great
and
cartoon.
I
still really
following
like
Christmas,
Joker,
Christmas
man.
with the Joker.
I was just
comes
gonna
in
say,
the
It's
third
still
place.
pretty
Joker,
good.
Isn't that the first Batman episode?
It is.
Yeah, that's very.
And it's
Yeah.
pretty
Jack
good.
sings the Batman song, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
there
he
you go,
does.
Bells. There you go,
Batman
Bells.
smells.
Excellent.
Joker got away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
would
is a
be
good
third
one,
place
but-
for me. But Comfort and Joy, that's the
Yeah.
holy grail right there.
There you go.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. Anybody else got one to poke in before we move on? Oh, all right. Wild Man Beyond sends in a
70s has
buck
to go.
99. Oh, you do? All right. Already?
I'm just going
Wow.
to drop out now. Yeah, thanks for having me. Hope everybody has a great night.
All right,
Thanks
dude.
to the chat as usual. I gotta go eat. So see you guys soon.
Take care, brother.
All right,
Catch you
buddy.
later.
Yeah,
later.
check out 70s Rock Fans channel.
See ya.
Oops, then we didn't read this one. Wild Man Beyond sends in a buck 99, says Jerry Bruckheimer saved the day after again.
What happened?
Did he?
Why is he a producer on this one? Did he come back? Or is this something completely unrelated?
Hmm.
Because I know he didn't produce the third one.
Did
He may be a
save
producer
the
on
movie-
this
is he
one.
talking about the movie The Day After? Did he save that?
The day after?
Was he
Did
on
they-
that one? I don't know.
Did he make the day after? I think he did, actually.
The day after tomorrow, that one.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's Roland Emmerich, isn't it?
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, so I don't know if he would have produced that.
Hmm.
You're going to have to reinterpret that for me, Wild Man Beyond. You don't have to send in another super chat, but just at me in the chat. ActionCom sends in $5, says, script. If you're a betting man, did the original Beverly Hills Cop writer develop the bad guys or Axel team first? And will they do that this time around? Well, this is actually a funny question because the script for Beverly Hills Cop has a very
Yeah, it was
strange
Cobra.
history.
Right.
Well, it eventually
Alone.
became Cobra. It started out similar to what it was. Then Sylvester Stallone got involved, so they started making it more into what Sylvester Stallone wanted it to be. When that wasn't working out, so I took all his ideas with him, and they reverted it more back to what it was because they originally wanted a comedian anyway. They were looking at people like Bill Murray and Whoopi Goldberg, and Eddie Murphy was one of the first choices too, but the studio wouldn't bite yet. And I think it was after Trading Places, they finally said, yeah, go ahead and get Eddie. Is that your correct collection too, script?
That's the way I recall it. Yeah, and the script was we worked over and over again. As for where they started, it's not relevant. You start with the characters that you find most interesting, and then from there you try to develop characters that can contrast with that to create drama and entertainment. The order is immaterial. As long as you do both things, that's what counts. How you get there. Everybody has their own method. So long as it's getting you writing, that's the best thing to do. I have no idea what the writers did this time around, so I can't answer to that. Sorry, ActionCom.
Yeah. And I had a couple more spoilers, but I don't want to spoil anymore because it does sound like people might enjoy the film. So, but yeah. There we go. We've got White So Serious, who's been here for 5 months. Thank you so much. Mercenary X21, it sends in $5. It says, outside of independent shops, In-N-Out is the only good and safe place to eat burger here in California. I'm from Southern Cali as a native. Oh, is it because of where they get their meat from, or you just
Probably the answer is yes to both.
all of the above?
Yeah, that's an all of the above one.
White So
Neighborhood
Serious,
and meat.
White So Serious says, hail panel and the Mexican Iron Man YouTuber. Excuse me, he is a YouTuber.
Hey,
The
hey.
YouTuber.
Hey, YouTube has a new
Whoa.
feature where you can time
Your
people
mic
out.
is out of whack, Mike.
Try that. Is that better?
That's better. Whatever happened there before, don't ever do that again.
All right, I was going to say that YouTube has a new feature for mods where you can time people out anywhere from 10 seconds to 24 hours. And this is a Mexican Iron Man safe space, chat. Stop that
And-
YouTuber talk right now.
Did we get a
Oh.
clarification on the Michael Bay bit yet?
Spoken like a true YouTuber.
I was looking for that in the chat. On the Michael Bay super chat, did we get a
He
clarification? on
did
that?
say something, yes.
You mean Jerry Bruckheimer one?
Or that's what I meant. What the hell was I talking about? Jerry Bruckheimer, yeah. I can't find it though. If one of you guys find it, just copy and paste it in the.
Says I meant saved the day again.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh no, he meant save the day again. And yes, he is listed as a producer. That's what he meant. Okay, so I interpreted it correctly. That's what I thought. Because yeah, I remember seeing that early on that he was actually listed. I don't know if it's a name only or if he actually has something to do with it. But yeah, it's him coming back since part 2. Wild Man Beyond sends in $1.99. Meant save the day again. Okay, well there you go. White So Serious says hi, Scribe. Been a fan since the early LOTN days.
It's Lord of the Night days, and he's confusing me with Scribe Light, which is not a problem. I take that as a compliment. Thank
And
you.
that was $2 Australian.
It was $2 Australian. Yeah, Scribe's on with us on Sundays, but during the week it's a little bit more difficult for him, I believe. So, but yeah, he's always welcome anytime he wants. But yeah, that's Script, not Scribe. But they do some shows together though. It's been a couple of shows.
We've had a couple of streams, yeah, and we do get along. We DM a bit here and there.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, I'm gonna step away since Andre wants me to get this stuff done here. And let you guys.
Oh wait, I was actually correct in my guessing.
Ooh,
Completely. Well, just Pablo was working on it now, actually.
Oh well. All right. Never mind.
Yeah. So hopefully he.
Anyway, so this is what's going on, guys. This came down this morning, and this was like a fucking bomb. Nelson Peltz has now nominated himself for the Disney board. He is basically declaring a proxy war, is he not, Mike? Is that what's going on here?
Oh yeah, yeah. You want me to pick this up and go?
Please, you and Andre are the two people I would turn to first for this. Yes.
All right, let me do this. If it's okay, I'm going to share my screen for a second.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, hold on. Let's go here. This is what I got as a stockholder of Disney. Full disclosure, I am a Disney stockholder. I'm not a happy one. I'm a pretty pissed off one, but I am a Disney stockholder. Yeah, so in their statement, Trian Partners announced that they're nominating 2 candidates for the Walt Disney Company board. The headline reads, believes the Disney board's lack of focus, alignment, and accountability has resulted in chronic underperformance at one of the world's most iconic companies. Now, the important thing to know is that Nelson Peltz has nominated himself, and he has nominated a gentleman known as James, aka Jay Rasulo, who any of us who have been longtime Disney company watchers know that he is the former CFO, Chief Financial Officer of the Walt Disney Company, and his tenure ended in about 2015. However, he was at the Walt Disney Corporation dating back into the 80s through the 90s, into the 2000s. So he's a long time person. He was a long time employee and executive there. There was some discussion prior to his departure that he might ascend to the top spot as an executive at Disney. He was in competition with another gentleman named Tom Skaggs, who some of you who have been following Midnight's Edge After Dark religiously over the last couple of years will know that recently Bob Iger brought back Tom Skaggs as a consultant to do God knows what and help out in God knows what way that has had absolutely zero evidence of doing anything since he was brought back as a consultant. But there's no love lost between Rasulo. So to have Jay Rasulo on the side of Nelson Peltz is a massive thermonuclear nomination for someone to be on the board of directors. Now, this statement, I'm just going to highlight 2 things. First is a statement made by Jay Rasulo where he says, "The Disney I know and love has lost its way. As independent voices in the boardroom, Nelson and I are confident that the combination of my decades of experience at Disney, Nelson's significant boardroom skills and history of driving positive strategic change, and our combined consumer brands expertise and financial acumen will be additive to the Disney board. with a shareholder mandate, Nielsen and I look forward to helping the board and management reorient the company towards delighting its consumers again and driving significant value for its owners. And the second thing I want to highlight has to do with how they start this thing, where they note that Tree and Fund Management, which beneficially owns 3 billion with a B of common stock in the Walt Disney Company. And if you currently look now at the Walt Disney board that's currently out there, who wants to take a guess as the value of all the stock that's held by everyone that's currently on the board? Who wants to play the price is not right amongst the board? Anyone? Anyone?
0. I'm going to say 0.
It is more than 0, but less than 3 billion. Next guess.
That is a great range. I will recluse myself from guessing because I know the answer, but I will say I was in shock when I found out.
All right. In the chat, let's put up between Nielsen Peltz has 3 billion and he wants 2 board seats. In the chat, let's make this interactive. Guess how much is the value of the stock of the excluding Iger, who's the CEO, the value of the stock held by all the other board members that are on the Disney board right now. Let me see what you got in chat.
I'm going to say, just because I'm going to throw it out there, because I haven't seen this whole thing yet. It's got to be less than what he owns just because of the way you're asking. So 2.5 billion.
Lower.
Ooh.
1 billion.
Lower.
Oh,
Lower than
wow.
1 billion?
Lower.
That's
And there's 10,
300K.
10 people on the board. Lower.
I was literally
What?
closer than all of you guys.
Then 300K?
You played The Price is Right. That doesn't
Higher.
count.
Higher.
It's at least in the millions, isn't it?
He said you had to say $1 to win.
It's between 300,000 and it's way higher than 300,000, but way lower than 1 billion. Keep going.
$500 million.
Lower.
Oh, come on. Lower than that.
Yeah, that $500 million would be 500 million. Lower.
250 million.
Lower.
No.
50 million.
It's around 80 million, isn't it?
15 million is the magic number we're looking
Oh,
for.
15. Okay.
1.5.
15.
That is utterly insane.
Andre,
I was
what
in
say you?
shock. Yeah, and I was in shock when I found that out. Here you have a board, and remember the whole purpose of a board. This is, I'm sure we'll get into this, but to me, this is really important. The whole purpose of a board, why you have a board in the first place, is because the board is supposed to be representative of the shareholders. Oftentimes, you have too many shareholders that the CEO can answer to all of them, which is why you have a board. And this board is assigned by the shareholders, and it very frequently will have major shareholders in it. And the reason for that is because they have a personal stake in the company. They are invested in it, so it's going to be important for them for it to actually work out. This is something the government wants. The government wants corporations and companies to be successful because that way they pay tax, which is why you have all of these rules and regulations on company governance, which are designed for the company to be profitable so that the government may tax the company. Now, all of this boils down to that the board should have a large percentage of shareholders so that they have a personal stake and be appointed by the shareholders. The shocking thing here is that not only does this board not have that personal stake in the company, they're also not appointed by the shareholders. So how is this board then capable of representing shareholder interest? Mike, you take it from there.
Well, that brings up an interesting question about independence related to the Walt Disney Company, because the tenure of the board members at Walt Disney is a bunch of rookies. It's like, when you look at a company this big, the analogy that I would draw, it would be like taking a vaulted team like the LA Dodgers or the New York Yankees and giving it essentially the of, say, the Oakland A's in baseball. It's a bunch of low value add people that are sitting on the board of this company, almost all of whom either are directly inspired or nominated by Bob Iger, or if they weren't directly nominated by Bob Iger, one of the investors that's friendly to Bob Iger and the things that Disney wants to do, such as BlackRock or one of the other shareholders, has been the one that designated who they wanted to sit in the director's seat.
Yeah.
Let's look at how this is being covered in the news. I'm going to share my screen again. Stop share, present, share screen, just so we can scan what's happening here out and about in the world today. Let's go here. By the way, they're the new board members for a company that touts itself as embracing diversity. Both of the board members that they've got are two white guys. Anyway, the Hollywood Reporter, Disney activist fight escalates as Nelson Peltz nominates former CFO Jay Rasulo for a board seat. That's how the Hollywood Reporter covers it. Disney responds to unsolicited nominations, and ex-Disney CFO Disney responds and says that they're in their formal response. Disney has formally responded to activist shareholder Trian Fund Management's unsolicited effort to nominate its co-founder Nelson Peltz and ex-Disney CFO James Rasulo to the media's giant board of directors. The company said a board committee will review the nomination. So don't worry, Andre, they're going to review this nomination. Yeah. But it also made a point of noting that Trian has teamed up with former Marvel Entertainment boss Ike Perlmutter. Disney earlier this year rejected a request from Trian for a presence on the board. It has described Perlmutter as having a long-standing personal agenda against Bob Iger. Andre.
Well, yeah, took his company.
Perlmutter, a longtime associate of Peltz, was removed from the Disney executive ranks by Iger, reportedly after clashing with Marvel chief Kevin Feige over film budgets. Rasulo, meanwhile, at one time was considered a potential successor to Iger. His run lasted, okay, we already covered all that.
Basically, he's immensely qualified and he knows Disney inside and out, meaning he's probably the most competent and qualified person to sit on a Disney board that's ever been, is what we're saying here.
That's right. In a statement, read it in full below, Disney defended its existing board. Quote, Disney has an experienced, diverse, and highly qualified board that is focused on the long-term performance of the company's strategic growth initiatives, including the ongoing transformation of its businesses, the succession planning process, and increasing shareholder value. The board's governance and nominating committee, which evaluates all director nominations, will review the Trian nominees and then provide a recommendation to the board. Gee, wonder what's going to happen there, Andre.
And I also wonder what is missing in this deadline Hollywood write-up. Well, I can answer that. What is missing is the bulk of the initial statement and press release and letter to shareholders from the Trian Group, where they basically tear apart not just Bob Iger, but the entire board and their competency and their suitability for being on the board at all. This is something that is not really covered in Deadline Hollywood's piece. They just further the Disney and Bob Iger cause, whereas what is in here? Look at this. This is a statement. Since Mr. Iger's first earnings call after returning, so here they're first dealing with what has happened in the last year. Tens of billions of shareholder value has been lost. All kinds of estimates have dropped dramatically, and studio content continues to disappoint consumers, slowing the speed of the flywheel and threatening future earnings growth. And more generally, Disney appears no closer to adequately address the compensation misalignment, governance, and succession issues that have plagued the company for decades. Basically, the board isn't doing their job, and here is where they really get into it. The root cause of Disney's underperformance is a board that is too closely connected to a long-tenured CEO and too disconnected from shareholder interest. And this, of course, is entirely right. The board, we believe, lacks objectivity as well as focus, alignment, and accountability. All true. So basically, this is delivering a black eye to Iger and the board. There was another statement here. We don't have it on screen, but there was another statement where they basically attack Bob Iger himself, and they subtly attack. It's a bit higher up, I think, and they subtly attack his preferred strategy of going after Bob Iger. It says so right here. Because first they say that that the subpar performance has destroyed value for shareholders. Disney stock has underperformed the stocks of Disney's self-selected proxy peers and the broader market for blah 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 blah. Furthermore, it has underperformed since Bob Iger was first appointed CEO in 2005. And then they emphasize that he has been the CEO since 2005 up until today. And over that period, he has always been either CEO or executive chairman for all but 11 months. So basically, everything has gone to hell since Iger came aboard, and he cannot blame Chapek because he has been in charge for all but 11 months.
No, I gotta
That's
ask.
what they're saying here. This is like a direct takedown of Bob Iger's blaming Chapek. Yes, carry on, Tom.
I don't know how this works in a corporate setting, so I got to ask you guys, you and Mike specifically. Is there some sort of point or any kind of charge that can be made on Peltz's part towards Disney that entire time Chapek was in office, it was pretty clear that Bob was working against him and the company, which would in turn work against the company's better interests?
This is not the time, but there would come a time for such accusations, wouldn't it, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's that would be like a later round in this fight. Like right now, Nelson Peltz is saying, I want to nominate to the board my two directors. And here's what's the thing is that the way Disney's structured is the board is going to evaluate these, and guess what they're going to say? They're going to say no. They are going to say
right,
no.
That's where I'm coming from. I can already guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Here's what I think is going to happen. Andre, tell me what you think. I don't think there's any way that the board takes, because knowing the way Disney is, they don't admit they're wrong about anything. They double down and they're delusional. They don't admit failure. They double down and they're delusional. That's how this company operates in every way, shape, or form. There's nothing about this company that is that they deserve the benefit of the doubt for anything. I think what's going to happen is they're going to deny this nomination.
They already are.
And well, yeah, they already. You're right, Andre. The thing that you just read, you're right. They're already basically saying F Nelson Peltz and F his nomination. So they're going to deny that. Then what we've got coming up. Guess what happens in the spring, Andre?
Well, that's when you have the shareholder meeting, and they do tease that towards the end here. So that's when the shareholders are going to vote, because that's kind of like what they've done here. They are no longer asking Bob Iger and the board to be on the board. That's not what they're doing here. This letter here is sent to all of the shareholders because they're going to the shareholders directly. The end here reads, Trian expects that the 2024 annual meeting will take place in the spring of 2024. And this is the sentence I thought was the most brilliant. Shareholders do not need to take any action at this time.
Right. When I got this,
it's a threat.
When I had gotten this in my email, when I got this, I was just like, I think they're talking to me.
Well, they have two things. There's two things shareholders need to take action on at that time. The one is the primary subject of this conversation. The other is that IATSE renegotiates its contract starting in spring. And if they don't get a deal, they go on strike, which again shuts down Hollywood, which then affects the stockholders and has a ripple effect. So yes, shareholders need to actually get on Disney's butt to get not only the board in order, but to make sure that they don't allow another Hollywood strike to happen 2 years in a row. Because they can't handle that either.
Yeah, because that'd basically be 3 years of shutting down, which is what they've been doing now since.
But don't worry, Bob Iger, Tom, you don't understand, Tom. Script, you guys don't understand. Hold on. we're still recovering from the COVID implications that occurred that affected our company. That's what Bob would say.
Yep. And then he would say, well, we're going to focus on quality over quantity.
We're going to focus on quality over quantity because we're a great storytelling company that tells stories.
Yeah, we've done so for 100 years with
Yeah,
all
well,
the good people
97.
that are gone now.
I'd say 97 years they've done that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't doubt that there's issues that they have from the Kung Flu, but I know that none of the BS that's going on with them now has been because of that. A
Well,
lot
it's
of the
funny
things that
how
have been done is
everyone else
because
has
of
recovered.
Iger's doing.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Can they
But,
legitimately? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just say, but this statement right here, shareholders do not need to take any action at this time. Oh, but shareholders will be paying attention, because what I read that sentence as is that this is just the beginning. Now they're going to start campaigning. They're going to start showing how incompetent Iger and the board is, and that won't be difficult. Even if the entertainment media press will do everything they can to run cover for Iger.
And building on that, that's this statement here. There's much that can be done to revive Disney and restore the confidence of Disney shareholders. And Trian looks forward to discussing these opportunities with our fellow shareholders over the coming months.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
And you know what that tells me? They look forward to discussing this with our fellow shareholders, not with the board members, with the shareholders. What struck me about this is that he's only asking for 2 board seats. But I think that they'll be asking for much more than that come this actual shareholder meeting.
You know, I got a question for like Price of Reason, Klobby, the other boys on the panel. Just, I mean, when you hear that Nelson and his group has $3 billion in stock and everybody else has 15 million, wouldn't you guys think that we should ask for like Nelson should ask for 3 or 4 slots minimum too, like Andre said?
I see why we're starting off small. I mean, you want to start off small and then build more. That way, it doesn't look like you're trying to have a hostile takeover per se, as they like to use that terminology. Start small, then work your way up to getting more.
Also, feel the room. How many people on the board are just towing the line as opposed to actually sharing the real feelings because of fear of reprisal, right?
That's a good.
This feels to me like a game that's very rigged, much like how the media is rigged and all these other things. And yes, the logic says that with $3 billion, it makes it seem like he should have more say and should have to be able to sit on the board. But things don't exactly work that way. And Disney is notorious for somehow twisting narratives and getting their way with their own kind of internal politics. I guess my question that I wanted to ask the both of you, both Andre and Mexican Iron Man, is that do you think that in spring he has a real shot at getting on this board? Because if he does, I think that's a complete that's like dropping a bomb on this whole Disney thing if he manages to somehow get in there.
What do you think, Mike?
I think I would, if you asked me that question a year ago or a year and a half, a year ago, I'd say no way, no how. But much has happened in the last year. We've got a stagnant stock that is still in the 90s, dipped as low as the high 70s. Number 2, we've got flop after flop, which these box office, people push back on me and say, well, they can lose 50, 100, 200 million here and there on a movie. And it doesn't matter because they make that in the parks and every few weeks and that subsidy. But these failures are pretty large and glaring because they're in the media and these box office numbers are what they are. The third thing that I'll point to has to do with the emergence of Nelson Peltz in general and how he's coalesced support and alignment with Ike Perlmutter. He's not like an investor out in the wind. I mean, my God, he's got Jay, a former CFO, on the side. He's got Ike Perlmutter, largest individual shareholder. That is a third sort of gravitational effect. And the other thing that I'll point to is that if someone were to tell me that those investor calls would have gone the way they did, I would have said no way, no how. But I think I am not an isolated case. I think there are many individual investors that are sitting around, some with 10 shares of stock, some with thousands of shares. There's people all over that are pissed off that they don't know if they can trust Disney Plus. They can't trust Disney Entertainment and their movies with their children. They can't trust the experience they're going to get at the parks. And I think that a reckoning now is more likely than not to come due. And if Nelson Peltz can get the word out to as many people like me to be in alignment with him, then yes, there is the possibility that this could go against Bob Iger and team. And even if they lose in this maneuver this fall, there still might be a way to win. And I'm going to tell you what this could be. Let's just say, for example, Nielsen makes his move and he doesn't have the votes and he can't elect a new board slot or new board directors. They could paint themselves into a corner where if the company doesn't financially perform, which, by the way, it won't, because we know what this management team and the internal rot. We know there's no creative talent inside Disney. We know the board is full of shit. We know the managers are woke as fuck. So we're not going to get any great results. So what they're going to do is they're going to paint themselves into a corner. And if they resist Nelson on this round, then it's going to be a wholesale lock, stock, and barrel. And it's going to be really, really ugly. And the company will be in shambles. And then truly right before it's about to go under, maybe it could be rebuilt. That's everything I think. Andre?
I'm curious, Mike, you know this better than me. How many shareholders does he have to win over? Or rather, we know he is not going to win over the likes of BlackRock, right?
Right.
How many of Disney's total shareholders can he win over versus how many does he need to win over?
That's
You
a
see
good
what I'm
question.
saying?
Yeah, I do. I don't actually know. Here, I can tell you the answer. Talk about something else. Hold on, let me find out. Hold on.
Yeah, because that's like the real question here, because there are some of those shareholders, and Bob Iger, we know he has gotten his friends to buy up more shares on his behalf to strengthen his grip on the company, specifically to vote against Nelson Peltz come spring. So some of those shareholders will never vote for anyone but Iger, either because they're friends of Iger or because, in the case of BlackRock, Iger is doing their
Okay, I can
bidding.
answer this question now. You ready?
Go for it. Yes.
All right, so here's what we've got. Let me just share this on the screen for the benefit of those watching at home. Whoa. Hold on, take the super chat or
There we go.
all right. So Vanguard has 14 billion worth of stock. BlackRock has 11 billion worth of stock. State Street has 6 billion worth of stock. Morgan Stanley, which we know has just been nominated to the board, has 4 billion worth of stock.
Yeah. Morgan Stanley, they're like BlackRock, so they're Team Iger solidly.
I don't know anything about Geode Capital Management.
Neither do I.
So let's just say that's 10, 21, 31, 32, 35, 35 billion of stock. So Triumph Fund, State Farm, I don't know how they're going to vote. I don't know how they would vote, but I don't know much about them. I don't know State Farm or Geode in terms of their
I
finance.
think we can reasonably assume that BUNY, that's Bank of New York Mellon, and Bank of America, they are likely in Team Iger. So if we then look at the percentage, so he's not going getting BlackRock, that's 8%. He's not getting that, so then we're up to 13%. Plus
Well, we're at
14,
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21 and a half, 22, 23, 24, 25. So literally almost a third of the company is owned by these woke ass investors.
So let's say that he's definitely not getting 30% of the company. At the very least, he's definitely not getting those 30%.
Right.
So the target here are all of the remaining 70%. That's who we're looking for. Those are the ones that are required to support him. And how many of those 70%, I'm sure there's probably more woke people among there, but of those 70%, how many would be needed to actually get kick two board members out and replace them with Nelson Peltz and the former Disney CFO? Because to be clear here, they are not looking to add 2 members to the board. They're not going to pack the board any more than Niger already has.
I mean,
They're looking to kick 2 members off and replace them with their own people.
Right. I'm going to tell you that Nelson Peltz is going to have to make a pitch to everybody and anybody like me if he's going to get this done.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
This is, in order to get this done, this is a lot like politics, Andre, what you're pointing out. It's a lot like it's almost like we can't rely on the Democrats or the Republicans to fix this thing. We got to make
a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, and we got to make Disney great again.
Yeah.
I have a theory. I think that closer to spring 2024, they're going to announce a few quote-unquote partnerships. They're doing something with Apple. They're doing something here and there. Some things that'll prop up the stock. And I'm not saying I know you gave dividend now and it was a measly dividend, but they're going to try to do something to wow, to make it seem to the shareholders like something great is happening. Even if it's just something temporary, just do like a smoke screen as if great things are happening. And once all of that passes, then the stock will drop back.
So, Mike, I'm going to ask you something. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, whether it's the panel chat, who's wondering this. Why, whether you're someone who has stock or investor, or if you're just someone who's even like a parent who wants Disney to be good again, or just anyone wants to be Disney again, why should people be more hopeful about this now compared to, let's just say, the zillion other times we've been trying to hope for change? Because it's been a swing and a miss more than we can ever count. And I would like for this to be a thing, but I'm still not exactly holding my breath here.
I answered that question, not to be rude, but Nick, I answered that question.
No, go for it.
I answered that question 10, 15 minutes ago. The things have changed now versus, say, a year and a half ago. I mean, there's now an organized investor that's leading an activist campaign. He's grouped up his allies. Disney's had public failures in the marketplace with its films. I mean, I covered all that a minute ago. That's why.
Oh, I know we did, and we've seen failures. We've seen a lot of these things now, and I'm just.
I can answer you in detail. What's different? The difference is that the last few times when you have been promised change, you have been promised change by the very people that Nelson Peltz and the Trian Group want to get rid of. You're not even being promised change. What is happening right now is that you have Nelson Peltz who are pointing out that these motherfuckers who are running Disney right now, they are liars, they are incompetent, they have promised change time and time again, and it hasn't happened. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. If these people are allowed to continue to run, nothing is going to change. There will be no recovery for Disney. The only way to change Disney is to force the actual skilled people in by force to get rid of these incompetents and gradually start changing the company from within. No one is promising you anything here. The only implied promise here is that if you want to see Disney get better, and you're a Disney shareholder, you need to vote for Nelson Peltz, because if you don't, you have no hope in hell of anything getting better. That's the only promise here.
Let's take a quick look at who's going to review the Peltz nomination. We have Amy Chang. I wonder how she's going to vote. Procter and Gamble.
We very skilled in entertainment.
We have Michael Froman from the Council on Foreign Relations.
WEF chill. Nice.
Yeah, World Economic Forum guy right there, everybody. We've got Maria Elena Lagomasino. Wonder how she's going to vote. She's from WE Family Offices, an office serving high net worth families. What the hell's that?
Officer of This sounds like some kind of like abortion thing.
Yep, and of course, Mark Parker from Nike. Gee, I wonder if that company's woke or not. Anyone in the chat got any insight on that one?
Meanwhile, there we have a modern day human slaver.
Yeah. So those are the people that are gonna review this, and they are on the board. This is the board: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
And Nick, for all those people that have promised change that hasn't come, these are the people that need to get kicked the fuck out. and that's what
Doesn't
Yeah,
need more
that's
than
a
two
that's a
seats to
whole lot
do
of
that.
rot there. You look
Yeah.
at that; that is almost an entirely.
here's-
Right,
That's a
let's move
wipe
on.
the
Let's
slate
move on
clean.
with the other board members.
Okay. Yeah.
All
no,
right.
let's
Who
go.
wants
Go
to
for
look
it.
at Mary T. Barra, who's been a director since 2017? Chair of General Motors since 2016. And let's see. Well, I don't know what she worked at General
Wait,
Motors.
isn't she the one that let a strike happen in her company recently?
Yes. Yes. That is exactly who this is. Oh, we got Safra Katz from Oracle. Yeah, they know a lot about entertainment companies and how to run theme parks. Not. We already covered Amy Chang. She doesn't know shit about how to run theme parks or studios. I don't know what
She's
she's
very
doing.
diverse, though.
Oh, bing,
That's gonna
bing.
make her parks better, just because she's diverse.
Oh, and then we got Francis D'Souza. We know him. He's a biotech guy, president of Illumina.
Yeah, that's
Director
nice.
since 2018. You see a
We got
pattern?
some
17,
pharmaceut in there.
18, 21, 18. Oh, Carolyn Everson. She came aboard in 2022. She's coming from Instacart. Boy, that brings a lot of brain power from Instacart. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and take everything she learned at Instacart, and I'm sure
Yeah, and
that'll.
she was also at Meta. So again, this is another wokester and someone that wants to enslave the rest of humanity.
Those of us who know Carolyn Everson know her as Karen Everson.
Are any of these
That was
board
good, Mike.
members' personal net worth like less than 15 million on their own? Never mind all of them combined.
Oh God, inclusive growth. I caught the words right after
Yeah,
MasterCard
but you see,
Center.
this is the guy we already covered. Like, this is the
Yeah.
WEF chill. Like, this is to
Yeah.
do the
Ooh.
answer
Director
to.
since 2018. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Then we got Bob. Hi, Bob. We already covered Maria. She's been a director since 2015. We already covered her. Calvin McDonald. Yeah. All right. He's the CEO from Lululemon Athletica.
He just oozes metrosexual.
Oh, that's a word you haven't heard in 20 years.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well-
I'm sure his expertise in fabrics helps. It's really going to get our studios and
He
theme
doesn't
parks
quite look gay, Script. He just
track.
looks.
That's true. Yeah.
And Derica Rice, 2019. He's coming from CVS. Oh, good.
Yeah, here we have another
make sure-
pharmacy dude.
Yeah, we make sure our COVID protocols are in place at the parks.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? See, it's when I look at this, I see two things. Number one, I see a glaring lack of tenure. Everybody here has been thrown on this thing since 2017, 18, 22, 20, blah, 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 blah. There's no one here that has any kind of legacy knowledge of this company. And number two, there's no one on this board that knows shit. Not one person about running a theme park, running studios, let alone a media offering called Disney Plus.
But what they do know, though, like the recurring themes here, are pharmaceutical and wanting to basically control everyone. I mean, these are like the recurring trends of these board members.
Drugs and administration, man.
Yeah. So Nick, you wonder now why they don't deliver on their promises to change the company around.
Oh, I knew
There's
they
the
had some
reason
run.
why.
I'm just wondering why people should be hopeful now compared to them, because there's been talks,
Okay, you
throughout
have
the
you have
time.
no reason to be hopeful unless Peltz wins out. No one is promising you anything here.
Oh, I know. No, I know. I'm just wondering because I know there's a lot of skepticism and a lot of people, I guess you could say, are being hopeful. I myself am not personally hopeful. I'm just watching and seeing how this plays out.
Yeah. I would say that the only reason to be hopeful now is that here is a genuine chance of change, whereas previously there was none.
Okay.
I've also noticed that the media made a point to remind everybody that Ike Perlmutter is also connected here, and he's known as a guy that's friends with Orange Man. So I think that's also their way of laying the groundwork over time to frame these people, Peltz and his associates, as people that may be tied to somebody like that.
Oh, but they already are. We know this. And this is going to be like one of their things because they are consumer driven. And that's what the Orange Man really is. So, of course, they're going to do like an ideological battle here. If you are a good, virtuous citizen of the world, to paraphrase Bob Iger, you will of course be Team Iger, because he's a progressive citizen of the world, doesn't really care about, like profits. They have a larger, more important role at Disney that shareholders are just expected to pay for.
That's where I find the 30% thing interesting, because I find it's, with votes, particularly along party lines, 30% is what you can kind of expect. Like you won't ever lose more than you won't go below 30%, right? So Iger's camp has that 30%. And chances are, if Peltz is organized enough, he can probably get 30% of people who are in our camp. It would take a lot of organization to contact everybody, right? But then you have the people in the middle, and those are the ones you have to convince. The people who are maybe just not paying complete attention to what's going on, who aren't really on one side or the other,
Well, in this case, though, the normies are Disney shareholders, so you would hope that he's able to win over everyone that actually wants to make money on Disney shares. This isn't like a normal election of like the average lot that just happens to be in the area. These are people that have already paid for Disney shares in the first place. You would hope that they would have an interest in seeing their investment increase in value.
And then when you look at the board of directors, here's the other fascinating thing. I forgot to mention this earlier. So we have our audit committee. The audit committee assists the board of directors in its oversight of the integrity of the company's financial statements, compliance with legal and regulatory, independence of auditors, performance of the internal audit function. Well, again, who's on this committee? The guy from CVS, not an accountant, by the way, for those playing at home. Francis D'Souza from Illumina, hashtag not an accountant also.
He looks kind of gay.
Safra Katz from Oracle, I guess. I mean, Oracle does make financial.
She looks like AI.
And then the funny thing is that when we look beyond the governance nominating committee, we go to the executive committee, and look who's on the executive committee. Look how many people are on the executive committee, which essentially decides everything for the rest of the board. How many people are there, Andre? 2. Wow.
He just stepped away, but 2.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot to unmute. 2, exactly 2. You have the slaver and you have Iger.
There's 2 there are.
But which one is the master and which is the apprentice?
One is the master and which one is the apprentice? Welcome back, Clobbering Times.
Sorry about that.
Always 2 there are. So because the way the boards work is the executive committee pretty much decides everything for the rest of the board, and the rest of the board just does what the executive committee wants to do. And the executive committee is Bob Iger, and the chair that he selected is buddy from Nike, Mark Parker. So that's our overview there. So things are getting into the war is on. And for those who have said for many years, there's no internal war at Disney for the soul of the company, wrong.
Ooh.
That war is right now heating up, because here's like the thing. The war was, for all intents and purposes, won by Team Iger. Like, for instance, the Lucasfilm Civil War, as far as I can see, lost. But here is now round 2. The shareholders are fed up of seeing their value eradicated on the altar of the woke cause, which, just brings about round 2. But internally, creatively, Team Iger won the creative civil war. So that war is lost now. Now it's a matter of, can you depose the winning side and bring in sanity again? That's what this is really all about. Because that's what Peltz is going to have to do. Because I think that they're hoping to get in 2 to begin with, but probably they're planning on much more. Because really, what you need to do here, you have to get rid of the entire board. You have to get rid of all of the Iger acolytes, so you can get rid of Bob Iger himself. Because only then can you get any meaningful change done.
I guess that was my other question. Is there a percentage, like a rule by what percentage you have to hit in the vote to be able to dismantle the board?
Yes, but I don't know that percentage.
So when do you get to is there a vote? I don't know. Is this happens at a particular event, or is this
Yeah,
just something that they
it's the
decide
spring.
to
That's
do?
what the
Spring.
it's
Okay.
spring
Okay. Sorry, I'm
2024.
not a numbers guy, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, it was in there. It's in spring 2024. That's when the shareholders will vote on this.
Okay.
Well, to bring both of our stories full circle, the heat is on. The heat is on. Oh, yeah. Let's see what the chat is talking about. Bad News Badger with 50 Danish Corona. Thank you so much for that. It says Mike is just as much a YouTuber as Elf is a bad show. Oh. Oh. That's a bad take.
No, wait. No. No, like Andre says, two things can be true at the same time. I am not a YouTuber.
No, you're not going to be like those fuckers on YouTube right now. What is this shit? Does Rachel Ziegler all of a sudden have fucking stands?
What?
Of course.
Have you guys seen this shit?
It's Twitter.
What are you talking about?
I've posted shit about her before. Never seen this crap in my life. All of a sudden, I have this viral. Let me bring it up here so you guys know what I'm talking about.
Of course, she has stands. Did you doubt that for a second?
This viral tweet-ish, viral-ish. Okay, so it's had like 2.7. It is one of my bigger tweets.
So basically,
but it's also all of a sudden getting a bunch
of.
It's also getting a bunch of retweets, and they're all saying both can be true. Both can be true. They all say the same shit.
No, I was just heard Andre saying this earlier in Mr. H. That's why I'm quoting Andre.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, no, but for those who don't know what I'm talking about, that's what I was just referring to.
Yeah, no one knows what you're talking about before we see it.
But like I've had at least 3 dozen or more people now retweet that. Like I'm like, and they're all the same kind of accounts, like hardly any followers, you know. So I'm like, clearly they're stan bots or whatever. I didn't even know Rachel had stan bots. It's like, what the fuck?
They moved on from Brie Larson, dude, since they couldn't defend Brie.
And Amber, did they
go to Ziegler?
Did they got together behind Ziegler or what?
Yep, she's the replacement because Brie failed, Amber Heard failed. Now they're trying with Ziegler.
But I see how you tried to break Mike's brain there, Bad News Badger, so I'll give you points for that.
Yeah, he confused me, but 2 things can be true at once. Mike is not a YouTuber, and Alf sucks as a show.
I bet you Bad News Badger gets laid all the time.
Well, we know Mike does. So, yeah.
Well, that's true. Jason Webster sends in Australia $5. Thank you so much, Jason. It says to say Disney needs to clean house is to say Disney needs to clean house, get in new board members like Peltz and Rejuvenation is a massive understatement of the century. Indeed, it is. But then he follows it up with Disney needs to reclaim its lost identity as a leader of animated and family content and focus on their existing IPs and create new ones. And thank you again for the Australian 5, Jason. And I agree. They got to get back to basics. And I think that's what Peltz and people that are supporting him are understanding is all the things that we talk about on a daily basis on our shows. Like that's the best part of this whole thing is the vindication of being right for the past 5 years, 5 to 3 years, however you want to look at it, about everything. It's like I'm winning more than Charlie Sheen.
The 8 of us
Tiger Blood.
The 8 of us on this panel assisted with a couple of other people. Literally, probably you get 10 of us in offsite for 1 weekend. And I'm telling you, this group, we could come up with an action plan and we would have this company on the right track within 6 to 12 months.
Absolutely.
No, and I agree. And I mean, I know Script will be the first to tell all of us, any of us, that, half of us don't know what it goes into the details of doing this kind of business. But at this point, I don't think he'd be able to argue too much with that.
Well, you're all better than the current board.
That's what I'm saying. Right?
How bad can we be?
We're measuring against that.
Right. Price of Reason can take Disney Plus. We'll give Script all the studios overall. Andre will be our CEO. Tom will be our creative director. I'll take care of finance. Claudia and Nick, you're in charge of everything Marvel, TV and film. I mean,
Claudia
and Nick are in charge of Marvel from beginning to end. I'm telling you, we just need a couple more pieces. We'll get Culture over to help a little bit on the theme parks. Maybe call Pro.
Script will have his freaking work cut out from just trying to fucking fix Star Wars.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Script's got to be overall, but his main focus is going to be Star Wars. That's what we're going to send Claudia and Nick.
That's the biggest mess of all. At least with Marvel, you can just hit the reset button.
Kind
Yeah,
of, yeah.
I'll
Oh,
fix
Clavy?
Marvel.
Yeah, we could fix that.
I've
Price
already got
Reason.
action
We'll
plan for
make Price
Marvel,
Reason
so.
in charge of all of the Disney Plus vacations. We'll send him traveling the globe to make sure there's quality control in all the Disney properties around the
And I
globe.
would put like Jonas and a couple of
I'll
those
take it.
guys in charge of the animation side for sure.
Cool.
I'm telling you, literally 10 of us could get together starting Friday at noon. And by Monday, we're all getting on planes and we've got an action plan to get this company fixed in 6 to 12
I
months.
agree. It's not difficult.
Yep.
I mean, very, very often it's seldom so obvious what needs to be done, as in the case with Disney here, which makes it I'm not going to say all the more shocking, but it makes it like all the more compelling to think about. Why wouldn't this board do this with all these people who are allegedly so talented? Why do they keep screwing up this way? Shouldn't be possible.
I'll take detail work. It seems like they've been slipping on that for a long time.
Well, I got you
now.
working on sound with me, man.
That can work too.
We got some shit to upgrade and update and preserve. That's the other thing.
We also need
That's-
theme songs to come back again. I
Yes.
missed the theme song.
Yeah.
I can write some good 80s theme songs.
Hey,
Trust
I
me
can
on
write
that
a
one.
theme song.
Yeah, you can too, probably. I've heard you on guitar, man.
And
You're
then
pretty
for
good.
everybody that
we got talent. We got talent.
for everybody that's a loyal watcher of Midnight Sedge After Dark, free passes for everybody and free turkey legs on day one.
Yeah, I say we got tons of other avenues you got to cover
Nice.
too. You got television, you got music. Preservation is another thing I'd be big. That's where I'd really put you on, CC, is preserving all the
Curator.
kind of stuff.
CC can be our
Curate.
master
Well,
curator.
between music preservation, remastering, and audio remastering and shit for movies and stuff is where I'd really.
All of those are good and well, but the company has bigger, more.
That's
pressing
that's much
matters
deeper
to,
down the list. But yes,
yeah.
I know. But I'm just
That's
saying.
down the list. First, we need to
Jay-
fire everyone and have them
Yeah.
reapply for their positions.
Well,
But
that's kind
moving
of
on.
goes without saying. Yeah, but Jay, speaking of moving down the list, says, is Peltz seeking 2 existing seats or 2 new ones? That power will his to have against the Iger army? Well, that's a good question. How does this work, Mike? Can they add more seats?
The idea is that he wants on the board and he wants the existing seats that are on the board, or he will want them created. I don't think he gives a shit, but I think he wants 2 of the board seats.
Yeah. And by implication, what he also wants is that 2 of those incompetent pharmaceutical
Moron.
WDEF chills, he wants 2 of them gone, because what he doesn't want is the board packed, which Iger has been doing. So no, he wants to take over 2 existing seats. Exactly which seats, I think he's going to wait closer to when the shareholders actually meet, because he doesn't want to give any names right now, because if he start marketing on, we need to get rid of those people, well then maybe Iger will just change his those people with some other of his friends, and then all of that marketing goes out the window, right? So they're going to wait with saying the names until closer to when the actual shareholder meeting where the vote is. But he's going to say, we vote these 2 people out and vote us in. And I think that is going to happen. And what power will his 2 votes have against the Iger army? And yeah, this is a good point, because even if he gets those 2 people on the board, that's 2 versus 9, because there's 9 seats on the Disney board. How does that work, Mike? How can 2 people going against 9 influence change? They obviously can, but what specifically do they have to do?
Oh, well, there's a couple things. Once they're on the board, they've got to be assigned to a committee. And while there's no way that Iger would let them on the exec, I mean, look, Iger isn't even letting his cronies sit on the exec committee. That tells you number one. So they won't get on the executive committee, but Peltz, and maybe they won't get on the audit committee. I'm sorry, on the board selection committee, because they wouldn't want Peltz deciding who else is on the board. But that then means that, guess what? Now they're on the finance and audit committee, because they have to be on one of the 2 committees left. Because after that, you've either got executive compensation and you've got audit. So you're going to put, so Nelson wants to put one, he wants to go over to executive comp, I'll bet you for sure. And he's going to send his boy, Jay, over to sit on the audit committee. And you know what? They're not going to give a shit about nominating more people on the board, because once they're in those 2 slots, they can decide how much Bob and the others get paid, and they can go and start finding skeletons in the closet on the audit committee. And if I were Jay, the first thing I would do is I would replace PricewaterhouseCoopers. Almost every Fortune 500 company in America flips its independent accounting firm every 4 to 7 years, just so that a new fresh set of eyes comes in and looks at making sure the accounting house in order. Who wants to take a guess on this panel as to how long PricewaterhouseCoopers has been the audit firm for Disney?
I'm guessing it's close to triple digits in years, actually.
40 years.
Well, no. Let's do it by Disney's been around. You're very close. Well, first of all, the company's only been around 100 years, so it's 1938.
So yeah, a minimum of 99 years.
Since I was born.
I would think it's not as long as that.
1938. Think about the PricewaterhouseCoopers has been the audit firm of Disney
Wow.
since 1938, non-stop.
Wow.
That means there are generations of accountants that have come and gone. And frankly, we've never covered it, but there's actually a Disney PricewaterhouseCoopers internship program where if you're going to go work for PwC, you actually get to go to Disneyland for a weekend for fun and adventure as part of your recruitment and summer internship before you start work on day one.
It's
Do
like
you
a
know what?
monarchy.
I bet you I can tell you what the excuse is as to why they haven't changed firms, because they said, well, we've been around so long, we just put new accountants on there to do the audit. So it's like a different firm, but we still retain the contract.
Right. That is what they say, and they're full of shit.
Yes.
It's criminal. It really is.
But that's why everything feels so rigged.
Yep. So that's our overview. Why is
Come on,
President
man.
Biden
Nothing's
on-
rigged.
Oh,
You're full of crap.
Jesus, Tom got a new voice thing. I'm just so happy I'm still with. Andre.
Come on, man.
You know how much I know you love me as a brother?
Oh, do share.
Because when I gave Tom for a present a year or two ago, the voice modulator box that I sent him, you didn't fire me the next day.
What's the matter, Corn Pop? You're the dude. You're a bad dude.
That's true. That's true. I was thinking like, oh my god. And then when you were playing with it too, I was like, oh, now there's two.
Right.
That Disney
Don't-
thing, it's a problem.
Tom and Mike are being children on my live stream. What are they doing?
I will say though that there have been times, including on this stream, where that music box comes freaking perfect, and it really makes things more fun. You have like just the right sound effect at the right time. So I approve.
They made me part of that thing over at Disney, that board thing, because I vote. I need to vote. I don't own nothing. I mean, Hunter bite.
Right. Well, Biden, since you forgot how to work on the super chats, we did.
That's right.
We did.
Jay
this-
sends in what?
Yeah,
Camelback Filler sends in $2 Renos. Says Bob will say anything to stay in power. Equals Y. I know how that is. I did the same shit. I see you, man. Me and Bob, we're like twinsies. Camelback Killer coming in with another $2. Bob and the board will stop. Peltz till Disney burns to the ground. That's right.
Can you
Burn
actually
it
hear
down.
yourself? Can you hear what you sound like yourself, like in your headphones, or not?
Corn Pop.
Yeah. All right. Everybody on the panel that thinks it's annoying, raise your hand.
I can't see no hands. No hands.
Okay. I'm
There
just gonna say,
I
if
think you
look
lost
over
that
the
one.
corner, there's the Easter bunnies looking to escort you away.
What? Does he got ice cream?
Haas
like
has
ice
been
cream.
a
Yeah, sniff his hair. He's hairy.
Haas has become a YouTube member. Welcome to the YouTube membership.
Ass. How you doing, ass? Good man.
Oh no, Bambino is calling me, and I have to go all of a sudden.
You liar.
Jason Webster for $5 Australian says,
All right, I'll shut it off.
I queued you up.
Jason Webster sends in $5. Oh, Darth Argier.
You do not know the power of the woke side. I must obey my master's vanguard in BlackRock.
Yeah,
I must.
that's why I was queuing you up. Get it?
That's right. What else we got here? Corn Pop.
Camelback Killer for $5 says if the state of Florida files RICO against Disney and do warrant to collect Disney files, emails, and sees Bob involved in bribery and fraud, he's going to jail. Oh, I'm sorry. If the state of Florida files RICO against Disney, yeah, I would. I don't know.
It depends who they name in this, because if they name Bob, then guess what? That partner that Nelson Peltz wants to put on the board as a CFO, who had been at Disney during that period of time, that's also under investigation, would also be named in that as well as participating.
Yeah,
that's that possibly. Jason guy. So it's a really lousy situation for either party, really.
Yeah, it's almost like throwing a grenade and hoping part of the shrapnel doesn't come back at you. Right, Script?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, we have the audience wants Joe Biden back to read Super Chats, Tom.
Mr. President.
Don't forget to put pants on.
What? Oh, I'll be right back. Yeah. What? Where's the zipper? Huh? What? Good traffic. Mercenary X too long. Sends in $10. Because the Instacart one is interesting. Insta is getting sued for stealing pay and tips for the delivery drives. Man, that sucks. I used to work for them. They are fighting to keep Peltz out or skeletons coming out. Yeah, they got a lot of shit in their closet. Like Hunter. I lost my son in Vietnam. Brett Cohen sends in $5.
Brett Cohen for $5 Australian. $10 says Mexican Iron Man votes for Iger in secret. It's that schoolyard crush thing. I don't like you, love you long time. Hashtag dismantle Disney the only way.
That's how I met my wife. I wasn't Sleepy Joe that day. No.
I can hear Andre right now in his mind. It's like, and this is why they have their own show and don't do this in the morning.
That's right. That's what this is all about.
I'm also thinking 81 million votes. Wow. Yeah.
This is what the night shift is for.
I'm more popular than that little black kid that ran around with his brothers. Say he beat it. Yeah. I'm popular than him. Jacko. Camelback
Killer for $5. Andre, Bob won the battle but lost the war equals legal battles will cripple Disney. If convicted, Disney will have so many fees. IRS, SEC, fraud, and bribery. Oh, yeah.
We'll see what comes of it, though, because there will absolutely be repercussions. But what will the penalties be? How deep will they go with their investigations? Because finding out too much can be inconvenient for all involved. So, like, for instance, if they were to RICO Bob Iger, how many others do they have to RICO as well? How many in the state of Florida knew or should have reacted to this earlier? Depending on how much they dig, they're going to find stuff. So, and not all, I don't think that Florida wants to find everything, because certainly there's going to be some blowback on them too. So I'm curious as to exactly how far they're going to go with this. What is clear, though, is that no matter what happens, Bob Iger and his board will be fighting a war at two fronts. They'll be fighting all kinds of legal matters in one end, and they'll be fighting Nelson Peltz in the other end.
I was going to say, they kind of already have all year, basically.
Yeah.
Already.
But it's about to get worse. I mean, now it's about to get real. This was the formal declaration of war. Up until this point, it's been an annoyance. An annoyance they've been able to not swat aside, but that they've been able to postpone. Now the bill is due. Now it's war. And it comes at the same time that Florida is also declaring war. So now they have a war on two fronts. They didn't have that before. They had an annoyance and a potential threat on two fronts. Now it's real.
Yep.
Now, how much of this movement by Peltz may have? And if you said this before and I stepped away, I'm sorry, but have to do with the recent findings of that audit? Do you think?
Nothing. That's
None.
complete coincidence.
None.
That's
In
just
fact,
coincidence. Because I think that would help his case. Is my point.
Well,
But
I
yeah.
Oh, it will help his case, but it's complete coincidence. This was going to happen anyway.
yeah, like what we're seeing play out with this nomination, the release of this email that I got, or everybody got, with this nomination. They're already marching down. That there just happens to be these Reedy Creek auditors over here, yip yonder, that released their report last week at the same time as this was getting implemented, is just happenstance coincidence completely.
I was just curious. I mean, because here's my thing: is I know they're going to say no, because like you
Right.
said, they've already telegraphed that,
Right.
and then he's going to get pissed because he's
Right.
going to be like, "All right, this is the last straw. You had one more
Right.
chance, and this was it."
Right.
And yeah, because he's going to go to war.
I mean, Bob, here's the other thing. A 30-cent dividend. Is he insane that he thinks a 30-cent dividend is going, like, how delusional do you have to be to think that you're going to do a 30-cent biannual dividend and that's going to mean shit to anybody that's a Disney stockholder? It is ridiculous.
He probably thinks 30 cents can buy you a lot of things these days.
Not in this country.
Oh, no, not in this country at all. He's got the inverse perspective of inflation.
Right. I did the math, and with the number of shares times 30 cents, I cannot even afford a pack of tortillas.
Well, here's the thing: that inflation, thanks to the gentleman who was here a little while ago, is everywhere. I mean, when the American economy goes off the rails, it kind of has ripple effects. So you can't get shit for 30 cents anywhere. Maybe Inner Mongolia, but not anywhere else.
Yeah, good luck with that. Did we read this one from Lance?
No.
Lance Corporal Waffles, thanks again for the insight on Beverly Hills Cop 4. Sends in $1.99, says they got prompted because they give great helmet.
Promoted.
That's promoted, yes. I said prompted because I can't read.
Well, the one benefit of the Sleepy Joe voice is that if you screw up like that, no one notices.
Everybody was saying I sound too coherent. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I got to sound like I'm drunk all the time.
Yes, and skip every other
What?
and skip words.
And the guy who did like Bad News Badger sends in stuff. 50 krona.
Danish krona.
Not really that much. 1, too much hassle to debate. 2, I am less than 6 feet. 3, I'd rather support quality entertainment than paying for pro.
This looks like the answers to 3 questions that must have been asked at some point, and I can kind of infer the questions from the answers.
Yeah, I think it was when we had a super chat up before. He was like the first one of the bunch, so yeah, you'd have to go all the way back.
Well, good on him.
Yeah, you got to make up words. I know. That's true. I'll have to listen to him a little bit more too and get his cadence. But anyway, that being said, I think we have tapped out here, boys and girls. Clobby, do you have a show tonight, or is that tomorrow?
It's tonight. The clubhouse is tonight, and if I got my technical stuff put together right, then yes. So that is 1 hour from now, 9 Central, with Raquel and Mark for the clubhouse. And I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for having me.
Always glad to have you here. It's a pleasure. And we got Nick Weiser as well. What you got going on, buddy?
I posted a review day and a half ago. Alpha Core, Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett. Spoiler free. Go check that out. Comic Shop Talk tomorrow night. We'll be talking some Christmas based comics because, well, 'tis the season. So, and Clobby, I posted the list for tomorrow's issues in our private chat for our comic shop.
All right.
Yeah,
buddy.
thanks for having me, chat, and hopefully I see some of you on the Thursday Night Throwdown. But if you're already someone who watches Clobby's Clubhouse, stick with the Clubhouse. Thank you for having me.
Always glad to have you. And CC, what you got going on?
As always, Friday night karaoke. If you want to listen to us sing some songs tomorrow night, feel free to join us.
Yeah, that's right. We do the tunes.
Are
One of
you
these days we're
singing
gonna get.
Sleepy Joe?
I could try. It's really hard to sing with that because it won't let you. It's an AI thing, so it doesn't very
just
well.
pitch right.
I can do rap probably.
Andre, if
actually
he
have done
does
it.
that on the morning show, it wasn't me.
I'll
Tom,
probably be good
Tom
on the
knows
morning
better
show.
than to do that.
Yeah, I know better than that usually, unless I'm called upon to. I've already done a rap song with Sleepy Joe, but anyway. Anyway. Script Doctor. One of these days we got to get you on karaoke.
I do not have the ability to carry a tune.
That's what makes it fun.
No, me and Script.
That's what rap is for.
Me and Script are united on this. Neither one of us you will ever see doing karaoke.
Bullshit.
Like I'd be happy to be on the show and chill out with you guys if I'm awake, but I'm not singing.
That's not as much fun, but I'll let you slide, Script. But Mikey, one of these days, I'm gonna be out there and I'm gonna get you drunk. Okay. And
The only way you would get me on to sing is
CC and I are gonna fire it up.
If I were drinking. That's the only
exactly. And you'll be singing Donna Summer and Fleetwood Mac and the Doobie Brothers and
George Michael
all night. George Michael all night long. You'd be like, I gotta have faith and all that shit.
Okay, maybe, but I'd have to be drinking.
See,
heavily.
I know. We'll get you there.
Listening to Andre earlier made me almost want to have a vodka when you guys were on Mr. H's earlier, and I was at my client.
Sorry. Yeah, because you were probably like just biting your nails, going like, "I know all this stuff. I need to get in there."
I
and
was
scream.
dying to
Dang
join
it,
you
Bob.
guys, but I was like an hour away.
You know, I want the vodka too, but I've been working out today, so I can't because if I have it, it'll ruin the effect of the workout. But I'm looking at my Crystal Skull vodka right now. Like I tried it a month or two ago. That thing is smooth.
That makes me wonder because I'm not a big alcohol drinker. And the last time I drank a lot of vodka, I got dumb and sick. And I'll tell you how this happened. Okay, this was when I was in college. We were young, dumb, and stupid, of course. Not even of age, right? So we're sitting there and we've got frozen lemonade, a can of frozen lemonade. And we didn't think we should mix any water with it. No, we're dumb. We mixed straight bottle of vodka with lemonade and split it between the three of us. I don't think I've ever been so sick off of alcohol my entire life. And it was one of the last times I ever really got trashed. Like it was one of those moments where you're like, God, just get me home and I'll never drink again. And I really, really haven't all that much. So I kept to it for the most part. And I've never been that drunk again. And I've just drank pussy drinks for the most part ever since. But yeah. That's why vodka, I don't know if I could do that again, but you've talked it up enough, Andre. I don't know. It's expensive. I know that.
Well, it's that particular one. Well, of course, I will not be responsible for you being out of commission the day afterwards because I'll need you to make a video that day. So yeah.
That's usually the case.
Yeah. But yeah, no. My first meeting with vodka echoes yours. Only without the getting sick or anything. I just had a blackout.
That's because you're Norwegian.
Yeah, probably.
I'm Irish. We're built for beer.
Yeah. That's probably true, actually. Yeah.
Oh, yes. You don't want to get an Irishman drunk on hard liquor. That's when they go from diddly 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 boo to, "Hi, fuck you fucking prick. I'll fucking," and just fucking, they just get all jerky and want to fight.
Yeah, but hard liquor is the only thing I can get drunk on.
Yeah. Well, see, yeah, you're Norwegian. That's why it's like you're immune to beer.
Actually, yes.
They give that to you as baby, like in your bottle.
It takes a larger amount of beer to get me drunk that I'm physically able to drink.
I'd imagine so. I could see that. And you're not a short, small guy anyway, but yes. So we left off, I believe, on Script Doctor. What have you got going on? I know you got your Patreon and anything you dropped over there. Any videos you're working on lately?
Working on a couple of little videos, working on getting the live show prepped for Saturdays starting January. Might do some Q&A. In fact, a couple of people on this panel have seen a little taste of what is in store to come, and the reception's been positive, so I'm going to ride that out. Price, are we doing anything tonight, or is
Yeah,
this the
we
week
have
off?
a Quantum
Yeah.
Leap at 10 p.m.
That's right. Going to be reviewing Quantum Leap, the good Quantum Leap, the real Quantum Leap, at 10 p.m. tonight. So stay tuned for that.
On my live channel and also on Rumble, where we have a surprising following.
Oh wow, cool. Yeah, we're having a little bit of a hard time getting the people to come over to Rumble, but eventually I think we'll get an audience over there. I don't even know how to set it up for Rumble on After Dark. I'd have to have Andre do it. But the bots have changed. They're no longer saying both can be true. They just went straight to leave her alone. And this is from Marvel's Will Succeed.
Oh man, that didn't age
Who wants
well.
to tell them?
Succeed.
I can't believe he didn't change his name after that.
I don't know if I've ever heard you laugh that heartily, Bryce.
It was a stupid name to call yourself, and you didn't even change it. He could have tried to save face and been like, okay, I didn't mean it. I have another name now.
Nope.
Well, when you're done laughing, Bryce, what you got going on?
Well, that was it. The Quantum Leap at 10 p.m. I did a Doctor Who video
that's right, yeah.
that has offended some people, like all my Doctor Who videos recently. That's a good review of that last Regeneration episode, which was awful. And working on some other stuff. I plan to see Rebel Moon this weekend.
I'm not even a big Who fan, but I felt for you guys when you were talking about the last few episodes, man.
Thanks.
Ugh.
It was rough.
It was rough.
Yeah. But
Yep.
thanks for being here, Price. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Andre, Mikey, myself, well, I know Andre and I will be on the morning show. I think Andre's working on at least one more video to drop yet tonight.
That is the plan, yeah.
I love the format of the earlier
The new
one.
formats?
Yeah, I liked it. Why didn't we put music in the background?
Because they're not the same as the regular videos. The regular videos are different. This is Andre's feeling. Once in a while, we may pop in the future. Some of us, depending on what's
I
important.
like the
for
graphical
talk.
layout of Andre.
He's getting his footing into it. Yeah, trying to find ways of getting stories out there where they're more fresh, because you guys probably want to know what Andre thinks.
Yeah,
So,
and also because the challenge is that the way that we do videos, it's very labor intensive and time consuming, and with things happening as fast as they do, a traditional type Midnight's Edge video means that it's going to drop by the time some news are old news, which just means it's like a lot of stuff we don't get to cover. Like we typically release like 10 videos a month, maybe. That means there's a lot of stuff we don't get to cover by just releasing the type of videos that we do. So we're not stopping that, but some things we want to get out faster. And that means that there's going to be like some changes in the pre and post production of that kind of video.
But you'll basically be able to tell what's what by the format. It's kind of how it's going to work. And then this way, Andre can kind of give you more of his hot takes or fast takes on something than just his long form scripted takes on it when we have and stuff like that. That stuff's reserved for, full on editorials, or, releasing rumors or scoops and stuff like that, and, retrospectives and whatnot. But yeah, we're just trying to give you guys more content and more of us.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait so long.
Exactly.
But yeah, so with that, hopefully we see you on the morning show, unless Mikey had anything else you had to plug in the meantime.
Hashtag not a YouTuber.
Bullshit.
Not.
No, but he's a great fan of a lot of YouTube channels and a great supporter out there. So
I'll take that.
that's a win either way. Just like the rest of you guys out there in the chat.
Indeed. So take care of yourselves and each other. And Clobbering Times is back. He's having some issues with his microphone, I think. Yeah,
I'm
popped
back.
you out of there.
Did it pop? Sorry.
That's your back. No, you're fine.
I'm having some microphone thing. I don't know. It's not even the microphone. It's something else. It's phasing in out of time and space.
Well, there was an update. I don't know if that's bothering your computer, but it bothered mine yesterday. Dirty bastard.
No, sure look into it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you showing up tonight. Oh, we got another
Camelbot
super
Killer.
chat.
Yeah, you guys super chat. Good.
Camelbot Killer sends in 5 and says, if CFOD paid TOP experts to investigate Disney, they are serious to have allegations stick and make sure that Disney has done for 55 plus years never happens again, I think he means. Yeah.
The Central Florida Oversight Board paid top experts to investigate Disney. Yeah, these guys are badass super pimps.
Yeah, and from what it sounds like, Disney doesn't have the brightest of minds behind them right now.
Dude, they're so moronic by thinking that they've got free speech is their defense. Like, it's just hilarious how stupid they are.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I'm kinda
literally stupid.
surprised.
It's literally like embezzling from you're embezzling and then you're like, well, I'm exercising my free speech. Wait, what? What?
Yeah, but I love how the media is going to bat for him as much as they can with some of this shit. Because yeah, they're really burying this news big time, as much as they can. But, yeah. With that, though, as Andre likes to say, it is not time for koalas in the rain.
What?
No, because it's the main channel. That's the main channel. We just go out on a little like and sub. So take care of yourselves and each other. See ya.